Hello everyone, my name is Giselle, and in this video, I'll be discussing Article 8 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, the Judicial Department. So, the Supreme Court, the organizational of courts, qualifications of the Supreme Court, the original jurisdiction of Supreme Courts over petitions, the Court of Appeals, the Court of Tax Appeals, and the Sandiganbayan will be discussed in this lecture. So let's start with the judicial branch. So when we say judicial branch, it is the power and duty of courts of justice to interpret and to apply the laws, to contest or disputes concerning legally recognized rights or duties between the state and private persons. So, judicial power includes the duty of the courts of justice to settle actual controversies involving rights which are legally demandable and enforceable, and to determine whether or not there has been grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction on the part of any branch of instrumentality of the government. So, according to Article 8, Section 1 of the 1987 Constitution, the judicial power rests with the Supreme Court and the lower courts as established by law. So, its duty is to settle actual controversies involving rights which are legally demandable and enforceable. So, judicial power under the Constitution is vested in a hierarchy of courts resembling a pyramid of the Supreme Court at the apex. So, according to the Constitution, there is only one constitutional court, and that court is the Supreme Court. So, all the other lower courts are creations of law as enacted by national legislation. So, now, let's proceed to the composition of Supreme Court. So, Supreme Court is the highest court within the hierarchy of courts in many legal jurisdictions. And it is the only constitutional court, and the rest of the other courts are created by statutes. So, let's proceed to the organization of courts composed of regular and special courts. So, regular courts are the Court of Appeals, Regional Trial Court, and Metropolitan Trial Court. Court of Appeals with 669 justices headed by the presiding justice, which operates in 23 divisions each comprising 3 members. So the court sit and bank only exercise administrative, ceremonial, or other judiciary functions. Next is Regional Trial Court, which is presided by 720 regional trial judges in each of the regions of the country. Then, the Metropolitan Trial Court. In each of the metropolitan established by law, municipal trial court in every city not forming part of the metropolitan area, a court may consist of several branches. And aside from the regular courts, there are under present laws the following special courts: the Sandiganbayan and Court of Tax Appeals. So, Sandiganbayan with 14 justices and a presiding justice operates in 5 divisions and each comprising 3 members, was created by PD number 1606 pursuant to the mandate of the 1973 Constitution. And the Court of Tax Appeals with the 5 justices and a presiding justice was created under RA number 1125, which has exclusive appellate jurisdiction to review an appeal. As you can see, this is the diagram showing the organization of the court. This is the hierarchy of courts in the Philippines, the relationship between and among the courts in terms of jurisdiction. And in this picture, this is the Supreme Court under Duterte Carves Place History Philippine Democracy. Next is the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court is composed of 14 associate justices and a chief justice. Any vacancy thereof will be filled in within 90 days from its occurrence. And under the present formulation, the membership remains at 15, but the Supreme Court possesses the discretion to sit in divisions composed of 5 members if it is not sitting in bank. And the retirement age of any of the members of the judiciary is 70 years of age. These are the qualifications of the members of the Supreme Court. Number 1, a natural-born citizen of the Philippines. Number 2, at least 40 years of age. Number 3, at least 15 years a judge of the lower courts or engaged in the practice of law in the Philippines. And number 4, must be a person of proven competence, integrity, probity, and independence. And next is the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court over petitions, the certiorari, the prohibition, mandamus, and quo warranto. So, when we say certiorari, it is a writ issued by the Superior Court requiring a lower court or a board, or officers exercising judicial functions to transmit the records of a case to the Superior Court for a purpose of review. Next is prohibition. So, when we say prohibition, it is a writ which the Superior Court commands the lower court or a corporation, board, or person acting without or in excess of its or his jurisdiction, or with grave abuse of discretion to desist from further proceedings in an action or matter. Next is mandamus. So mandamus, it is an order issued by the Superior Court commanding a lower court or a corporation, board, or person to perform a certain act with it is its duty to do. And last is quo warranto. So when we say quo warranto, it is an action by the government to recover an office or franchise from an individual or corporation usurping or unlawfully holding it. So next is Court of Appeals. So the Court of Appeals shall also have the power to try cases and conduct hearings, receive evidence and perform acts necessary to resolve factual issues raised in cases falling within its original and appellate jurisdiction, including the power to grant and conduct new trials or proceedings. And it is also composed of one presiding justice and 68 associate justices, all of which are appointed by the President from a short list submitted by the Judicial and Bar Council. So, the following is the jurisdiction of the Court of Appeals. Number 1, original jurisdiction to issue writs of mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, habeas corpus, and quo warranto, and auxiliary writs processes, whether or not in aid of its appellate jurisdiction. Number 2, exclusive original jurisdiction over actions for annulment of judgments of regional trial courts. And number 3, exclusive appellate jurisdiction over all final judgments, resolutions, orders, or awards of regional trial courts and quasi-judicial agencies, instrumentalities, and boards or commission. Next is the Sandiganbayan. So the Sandiganbayan is special appellate collegial court in the Philippines, and the special court was established by Presidential Decree number 1486 as subsequently modified by Presidential Decree number 1606 and by Republic Acts numbered 7975 and 8249. So, the qualifications to become a member of the Sandiganbayan are as follows. Number 1, a natural-born citizen of the Philippines. Number 2, at least 40 years of age. And number 3, has been a judge of a court for at least 10 years or been engaged in the practice of law in the Philippines or has held office, requiring admission to the bar as a prerequisite for at least 10 years. So now, let's cite some guarantees of independence for the judiciary. So number 1, the judiciary shall enjoy fiscal autonomy. Appropriations for the judiciary may not be reduced by the legislature below the amount appropriated for the previous year, and after approval, shall be automatically and regularly released. And number 2, no law shall be passed reorganizing the judiciary when it undermines the security of tenure of its members. Number 3, the Supreme Court shall have administrative supervision over all courts and the personnel thereof. And number 4, the salary of the Chief Justice and the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court and the judges of the lower courts shall not be decreased during their continuance in office. This can be found in Section 2, 3, 6, and 10. That's all, everyone. Thank you.